helping you to weather good and bad economies without putting retirement on hold. This is the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo. Ken and his son Nick know that creating a comprehensive financial plan can align your hard-earned life savings with your retirement goals. Consider them your retirement architects. Now, the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo.
If you're new to the program in any way, as Nick was just talking about, both Ken and Nick, they're runners, they are sports lovers. We should have started the conversation talking about the race. You want to share a little bit about the race that you guys are doing? The crazy race that you're doing?
It is crazy. And I question it every long run I do. Not going to lie. But basically what we're doing, it's called the Dopey Challenge. If no one's ever heard of it, you run one race a day for 4 straight days and it increases.
Like a bunch
Thursday,
of big dopes. No. But the Dopey Challenge, it's at Walt Disney World. That's why they call it the Dopey Challenge. Yeah.
Yep. So we run a 5K on Thursday, 10K on Saturday. 5K on Thursday, 10K on Friday, half marathon on Saturday, full marathon on Sunday. So 48.6 miles, I think it is, over 4 days. It's going to be fun.
Is it?
The first 3 days will be, because it's not going to be a problem. That fourth day, I'm going to probably be like, why did I decide to do this?
And
but
Ken,
we've been training.
I was going to say, and Ken, your thoughts?
Just think it's going to be warm down there.
I was about to say, at least it's going to be in Florida, so you will get out of the freezing cold. So there's
I don't know. I'd rather run in the cold when I'm running a longer distance.
Really?
Especially for the marathon, because I don't know what Disney's going to be. Are we going to have a muggy Sunday on the marathon? That's going to
valid.
I'm not going to be ready for that.
We've been running under 30 degrees, so
yep,
this will be a nice break.
I think so. All right. Well, we'll all be cheering you on as we sit, by the fireplace, warm cups of coffee in hand, doing what most people are doing in January. No. But seriously, hats off to you. It's an amazing and very cool thing that you guys are doing. Obviously, very, very discipline is the nature of the game when it comes to the Tumolo family. But as I was saying, sports. Whenever we can work sports into the conversation, Nick is the first person to say, Heather, let's do this story. So this is not so much about the athletic ability, more about the financial skill set or the lack of skill set that we see, and we've seen these stories over and over again. The unfortunate things that happen to athletes and the money that they earn and then end up without in the end. The average NBA player makes over $11 million a year. So why do 60% of players go broke within 5 years of retiring? Why does this happen? This is Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal on why this happens.
Sometimes you just get so much money and you forget. Like if you got a 5-year deal worth $100 million, you're making 20. If you spend like 20 in the first year, you'd be like, you know what? I got another 20 coming. That's how guys are thinking. I always tell them, don't think about what's going on now. Think about what has to go on in the future.
Okay. Athletes aside, because we all know that circumstance is that the professional athlete is a very small group of people and it's a very special circumstance. Ken, you have talked about on this radio program before, it doesn't matter if somebody has $500,000 saved or $10 million saved. They have the same concern. Am I going to run out of money? I don't want to be broke when I'm 90. How can this same mistake happen to everyday folks? And more importantly, how can we prevent it from happening?
Yeah, and we see it even in our industry, but I'll go over the athlete first because I thought of a story that just happened recently.
Yeah.
I think it was 1 or 2 months ago.
Okay.
Odell Beckham Jr., when he gets on the mic, it just seems like he just never says the right thing, my opinion. But the problem is, so he went on the mic and he's made over $100 million in his career. And he said that wasn't enough money and he's actually starting to go broke. And I just think the average person, like we just said, would be happy with $5 million and they feel like they're set for their retirement.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's just that celebrity athlete type thing that they just don't understand the concept of money. Or they just got it too quick. So like Odell, he might've not been used to that money before he got it.
Yeah.
Same thing with like, just to get rid of the talking about the athlete. Same thing talking about people that get inheritances. I do see that unfortunately a lot, and I hate seeing it. It's the people that have worked in their 20s all the way up to their 60s and built up $1 million, $2 million, $500,000. They know how to preserve and protect better than the person that gets an inheritance at 60 and it gets dumped onto them. It's unfortunate, but I do see it a lot, and the trend just keeps continuing every time I have someone come in. And so that's a big mistake I see, especially with like inheritance. Don't go spend it right away. And I'll talk about the other mistakes, but someone that gets inheritance, take a breath and just go talk to someone. Try to see what makes sense. You don't have to go talk to the first person to go start work with them. Talk to a couple people,
right,
especially because it's
get
the first
opinions.
time you got this money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Figure out what's the best way to go. Cause like I've had a couple of people come in and they just are like, I want to do this, 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 and this all in the first year. I'm like, you already just spent it all. Mm-hmm. And because they don't understand, oh yeah, you got to pay tax on that money too, when you get an inheritance. That money dries up pretty quickly once you start adding in, oh, I want to go pay off all my kids' colleges. I want to buy a new house. Oh, I want to go buy a new boat. And then you forget, and then it's gone. So have a plan set in place for like inheritance. That's one of the biggest mistakes I've seen when people, because parents, they usually pass away in their 80s, 90s. So these kids are adult children, I should say, because people in their 50s are adult children. They're getting that money at 50, 60, and they're like, I'm ready to retire. I got the money. I'm good to go. And then a couple $100,000 later, and you're like, oh no, I'm already running out. And I might have to go back to work, or I might have to cut back. And I don't want you guys making that mistake. Yeah. So it's having that plan set in place. And I say this all the time. I know things change and everything. And let's figure out what goals work for you. Mm-hmm. But the inheritance is one of those main things I usually see. Other than that, it's the biggest mistake is just not having a plan. That would have been the shortest answer in the beginning, just because that seems like the biggest issue. People that have too much in the market. People that don't understand the tax code. So like I had someone come in about 2 months ago, and we're going over his tax situation. I was like, you're 4 years from required minimum distribution. So what that means is if you have a 401k, IRA, tax deferred money, you're required to take money out of that account at 73 or 75, depending on your year of birth. So for him, I was like, okay, we got 4 years to do some good tax planning before we know you have to take out this amount. Let's start doing it now so that you're smoothing out your taxes. You're lowering your tax burden down the road, so you don't have to worry about your taxes and your Medicare, and you don't make that mistake. Because I've seen that mistake happen over and over and over again too, where you're not taking money out of those IRAs. You get to 75. Now you're in the higher tax bracket, which you might have been able to get out of or not pay as much into there. Then you got to worry about Medicare as well and IRMA. Mm-hmm. Oh, now I'm paying an extra $100 a month. That stuff adds up. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing. Mm-hmm. So having that plan set in place, that is the biggest mistake. Getting a plan, whether it's inheritance, whether it's just your retirement, you want to have a plan in place. So our Tumolo Retirement Checkup is complimentary. Our phone number is 860-854-3434, or you go to our website at tfcheckup.com.
Yeah, and when I was growing up, Lotto in Connecticut came out, and they were like, oh yeah, you can win $1 million. And so, everyone was like, oh, $1 million, I'm set for life. Mm-hmm. And the reality is if you win $1 million when you're 20 years, 30 years old, you're probably not set for life because of the cost of life.
It's a nice little cushion, but you got to work. Yeah.
But the thing is everyone that hasn't won that $1 million in their minds thought, oh, wow, it's a lot. And if I get that, I'm set. And I could spend and spend and spend. Mm-hmm. In reality, you can't. Mm-hmm. So it always goes back to like what Nick was talking about, is having a plan. So if you do get that inheritance, and I'm going to go back to the inheritance, I always say treat it for especially those that haven't saved well for retirement, or you're borderline on retirement. You just need a little bit more to get there. Mm-hmm. Then that inheritance might be a gift of retirement, is what I want to call it.
Okay.
And it you got to treat it as that, a gift of retirement. And I'm not going to tell someone to do what their money, but I'm going to give them direction. So if
it's your job, people are coming to you saying, here's my money. How do I make sure it lasts? That's why people come to you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about preserving it and helping them get through retirement at that point when they come in. We had a guy come in borderline of retiring based on what he saved up and really wanted to retire. His goal is 62. I'm retiring. Me and my girlfriend were moving in together. And I'm like, but your numbers don't work. And so he goes, oh, my parents, my dad's he's going to pass away soon. And I know I'm inheriting something. And I'm like, well, you can't count on that.
That's right.
And so long story short, dad ended up in long-term care. So instead of inheriting, $1 million, we'll just use that number for now. He inherited 500,000. So it was cut back quite a bit, but still, at that 500, when you get it on paper and build out a plan, it actually made the difference so that he could retire at 62. The two of them could move in. Yeah.
Nice.
And both retire.
Still worked out, but
it still worked out.
Important that the numbers were all laid out and an understanding was there. Yeah.
Yeah. So the parents still gave him a gift of retirement is what I want to call it. So really what I want to say today is if you end up with that gift of retirement, that inheritance, it's really getting in, meeting with someone, know those numbers, make sure you're not making a tax mistake, make sure it's going to last you all the way through before you make big decisions. Yeah. You kind of got to decide what you're going to do with it. If you're going to buy something big, make sure it's a proper purchase that's not going to make it where you have to go back to work if you retire. All starts with the retirement checkup. Our number 860-854-3434, or visit us online at tfcheckup.com.
Investment advice offered through Tumolo Wealth Management, a Connecticut-registered investment advisor. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here.